Of course not. They were just simply throwing the ball as far as they could. So in terms of creating power in the swing, I don't really know or care. My only goal is simply to swing the club backwards and forwards freely, staying relaxed without any tension, swinging fluidly with a rhythmic clock pendulum-like swing backwards and forwards. And then all I do when I create power in my swing is I take the natural swinging momentum that the club already has. If I just hang on to it, let it swing naturally all by itself, I just take that natural momentum that it's got, and then like pushing a kid on a swing, I just give it a boost. Now, which parts of me are doing what? I don't know. I don't care. I just swing back and accelerate the club through. Now that time I mistakenly swung a little bit too low and I struck into the ground there. There we go. So the mechanics, your goal of creating a proper swing where the club head swings freely, fluidly, and fast, that actually creates the mechanics. So you'll see if you watch my before and after videos, you'll see golfers who, you know, they don't have a proper follow through, they're falling back on their back foot. All of the mechanics are wrong. Then I teach them specifically about what to do with the head end of the golf club to focus on swinging it freely, fluidly, fast, simply by relaxing in the hands, creating a rhythmic tick, tock, swing. Now that I think about it, I did describe some of the swing thoughts or swing cues to use to create this swing. So I teach them how to swing freely and fluidly and fast by relaxing, swinging a rhythmic tick, and make the swing tock motion. Then their swing improves dramatically. And then when it comes time to strike the ball, I just tell them to focus their eyes on the ball and then to focus their attention on the club head, the weight of it, and that heavy feeling circle that we've talked about in the other video. And then they try to pass it through the ball. And all of a sudden, their body motions are completely different from what they were. They turn better, they accelerate, there's club lag, the hips are turning, everything's accelerating through, they come right around to a proper finish. And did I tell them anything technical at all? The answer is no. Here's an example. You know how people will say, fire your right side, move on to your left side, shift your weight coming through, and so on and so forth. I never teach people how to shift their weight, and I never teach people how to follow through correctly. And the reason why I don't is because I don't have to. If you swing a golf club correctly, if your intention is to swing the club freely without tension, fluidly with a rhythm, and accelerate that club correctly forward, it is impossible not to do all of those things that you're supposedly supposed to think about when you're swinging. So, that's the basic premise of the real swing golf method. Essentially, instead of thinking about me and my body parts and what they're supposed to do and how they're supposed to do it while I swing, I don't think about me at all. I think about what I do with my golf club head, and then I allow the club head to swing freely, fluidly, fast, and I just try to pass the club head as accurately through the ball as I can. Now that time, I hit a tiny touch fat, but you'll have to forgive me. I took a great giant step to hit it. And the funny thing is, when I'm doing all these alleged trick shots, I have no idea what my body parts are doing because I don't pay any attention to them. I'm basically just trying to swing the club as precisely through the ball as I can. Again, I hit a little tiny bit fat. Now, I'll often ask my students, how do you fix swinging a little bit low so you're hitting fat? And they'll come up with ideas that they don't want to dip their knees or they drop their shoulder, as if they're going to be able to tell that their shoulder dropped by a 1/4 inch or their knees changed flex by a 1/4 inch. If you really think about it, the idea that your body parts are to blame when you don't strike the ball very well, if you really think about it, that's not actually the problem at all. Because they're just tiny little fractions of inches when you're off center in your contact. You're not going to be able to tell when you're swinging which body parts are where to within a 1/16 of an inch accurate, are you? So you see, the last couple times I swung a little bit low, because relative to the ball, if the club swings low, I'm going to scuff turf. If it swings high, I'm going to top it. If it swings too close to me, I'll catch it on the toe. Swings too far away, I'll catch it on the neck, and so on. So, last time I swung a little bit too low. So how do you fix that? Well, 2 words: swing higher. So this time I'm going to run at it, hit like Happy Gilmore, and try to swing slightly higher. I did, but not quite high enough. I still caught it a tiny touch fat. So this time we'll catch it solid. Whoa! Hear the sound? And all I did, my attention was actually focused on the club head and simply swinging it on a slightly higher path than I've done on the last couple. I don't know what my knees did or my arms. I have no idea, because my focus is fully on the head of the golf club. Now you might be thinking, this is all really different, and does it have any actual validity? I mean, you probably don't, if you've been through some of the other my fellow professionals who are doing audition videos as well, there's a lot of talk about the importance of the grip and the posture and the spine angle and rotation and X angles and so on and so forth. I don't talk about any of that, do I? Now, I want to make it very clear that I'm not saying that all the other golf instructors are wrong, and because for the most part, from the ones that I've watched, at least 90 to 95% of the things that they are saying are in fact correct and accurate principles. But you see, I view the mechanics aspect of things as the icing on the cake. The foundation of everything is the club head skill that if you've watched some of my videos, we've discussed. And then a better grip and posture and setup and so on, all that does is it simply sharpens things. Okay? So if you are consistent with the first 2 critical skills, swinging the club head freely, fluidly, fast, and striking the ball with the swinging club head, hopefully to within a 1/16 of an inch accurate, when you change your grip setup posture, what will happen is your shot's dispersion will get a little tighter. Your distances will get a little longer. That's what having better swing mechanics does. It also means, for example, let's say you don't make the best swing and you don't swing quite as freely as you should because you're on a tight hole and you tighten up a little bit. Well, that's not a very effective swing, and that may cause a bit of a slice. Well, if your grip and setup and those basics aren't correct, that slice might make it into the trees. Whereas if you've got better swing setup biomechanics, your not so great swing might slice just into the right rough. So in the one case, you're dead. In the other case, you've at least have a shot at it. So that to me is what mechanics basically does.